That's step one to getting an agent in production is.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview the top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Lead Agent Secrets.
I want to take this now and I want to go into the second topic.
Sure.
Because we talked about obviously managing burnout. I think this is superpower. I think a lot of people have got a lot of value from that. Even just me listening, I'm like, some of your perspectives you can tell have come from a place of pain, but now it, almost like a phoenix moment where you burnt yourself down and risen from the ashes. But your second topic, which is going to be even as exciting as the first, which is building a brand. Now, something your linguistic talents didn't fail as early and you piqued everyone's interest. So your second topic is building a brand. And I know you've done it in a pretty unique way to allow you to leverage yourself and get away from the business. Talk to us more about why building a brand is your second secret to success.
Because building a brand forces the hard questions if you do it right. So I cheated. I put those two together. When I thought about managing burnout, it was me reflecting on where I was out of alignment with myself and my values. Building a brand is the process of discovering who you want to be, how you want to show up, first as an individual, and then to take from that your individual set of mission, vision, values, how you want to be, right? Mission being the question of where are you going? Vision being the question of what does it look like when you get there? And values being the question of what are the rules that you're going to follow along the way? And so using that simple sequence of questions and applying that to your mission for your family, for your intimate relationships, for your finances, and then for your business. And then knowing that your personal ethic, your personal mission, your personal values actually has to be the core that everything revolves around. Like if your value set becomes just the values for your business, but then it doesn't actually overlap into what your personal values are, then it's out of an integrity and it won't last. It'll be out of alignment. You'll be grinding instead of flowing. That's the bottom line. And I had that in my business. That was the most painful realization, is I had stated values that were not lined up with actual values. I had a video and an audio that were out of sync. So it was like watching a cheap French film, right?
My life was like a cheap French film. I like that as an analogy.
Yeah, building a brand means putting some production quality into your audio video and actually putting the time in to make sure they sync up, right? That's the work of it. Is it requires that guttural honesty and being willing to implode a brand that's not in alignment. Building a brand for me meant imploding and restarting. But it's the process. Define your personal mission, define your personal vision and values. And then from those places, define how whatever business you're trying to brand will be an expression of those things, a unique expression of who you are as an individual. And if you've got a team that you're wanting to brand and you're not necessarily wanting your name on the door, then your value state and your mission becomes the baseline for your recruiting platform. Because it's not necessarily you're trying to recruit people to bolster your name. You're trying to recruit people that are in alignment with your values, your real, actual values, your lived values. And the more you attract people that are in alignment with that, the stronger that brand is going to be, the stronger that story is going to tell itself organically.
So when you say about attracting people, so I agree, by the way, 100% alignment, and actually being disingenuous is like the fastest path to failure, just because it's far harder to be fake than people realize. Like if you never tried it, like there's a reason the frauds and stuff all get found out, because it's fucking draining to constantly lie. And like, that's why it always comes full circle. So like you're talking about alignment, right? And it's like just being authentically you, like just genuinely going out in this world and not trying to put on a mask. It's like, this is how I do business. This is how I want to show up. And I'm looking for people, both from a client side and for the team side, that align with, one, they like the way I do business, and two, like they kind of can get on board with it, and that's the way they like to do business too, So when it comes to actually attracting your team and your community and building that culture, you obviously touched on, you had a team and then now you've decentralized it and you took your 6 months sabbatical. Can you talk a little bit more about growing the team and building that side of the brand and some of the hiccups along the way with getting alignment? Because I'm sure there was some fuck ups along the way on that front too.
Yeah. And I shouldn't say like it's all in degrees. So like I think everyone's always doing the best they can with what they think they have in the moment. And so like definitely there were moments where obviously things were working. We were closing a lot of deals, and I did attract a lot of talent. Early on, the brand that I created was I pulled people from out of the business that had no experience in real estate and turned them into top producing agents. So a story I could think about is I had one particular agent. They were working a minimum wage job, basically. And not super, like they're full of potential and truly a talented person, but not not living anywhere close to their potential. Help them get into real estate, help them get a license, and in their first full year, help them close 50 deals as a member on my team. So they netted over 200,000. After splits in it. And that was someone, who 1 year previous to that was making nothing. And
what would you say was the biggest difference but when they were over there and then when they came over here with you? Like, why are they producing all of a sudden because you show up in their life?
I think it's where Andrew started the conversation is it's about accountability, right? It's about one thing, having people there to call out the shit, call us out on the carpet when we're underperforming, when we're out of alignment, right? We're not like, hey, a part of being out of alignment is if you're supposed to be a king and you're living as a peon, like you got to line up. You've got to go out there, take risks, put yourself out there, and be okay to continue the fail forward journey that is business, that is life, and stop playing it safe. But sometimes it's like we know the activities and we just need someone to call the gold out in us and remind us that we have what it takes. A huge part of coaching, which is what I do now with a lot of my time, even though I make less money coaching, than I do listing properties. I actively do things that I get paid less because I enjoy them more, because I have more passion. And I think showing people that they can, I don't know if this is answering your question, but once you get someone out of above the poverty line, suddenly they don't have to work for money anymore. They can work for a cause. They can calibrate to passion rather than just trying to calibrate to survival. And so just doing enough of the lead generation activities just to get above that line so you can actually take a moment and think about who you want to be. That's step one to getting an agent in production, is out of panic and survival, right? And then from there, and this is where it gets scary because you don't know what it's going to look like, is okay, now that you're not surviving and you're starting to experiment with thriving, who do you actually want to be? And that's when sometimes those agents go off and start their own teams or decide to bail on the business entirely because that made them a lot of money, but they didn't love it.
That's a position of power. Like, you're coming from a totally different place. I feel like from if we'd spoken to you 3 years ago, a totally different place. And now it sounds like you are just coming from a place of fulfillment, which is the most selfish thing you can do. And it's ironic because it's like, I get more pleasure out of seeing all these agents succeed, but ultimately they're loving the life as well because they're succeeding. So it's kind of like this really nice double-edged sword, which again, for us is we get a lot of pleasure out of seeing a lot of people succeed too. Mm-hmm. There is something very fulfilling about seeing people achieve their potential, right? Yeah. And usually when we say achieve their potential, we're not saying they've maxed out with us. Usually it's a fraction of, but you take them to a certain point, and then, like you said, they usually open their wings and fly, and that's a good thing. And you want to be in the position where when they go, you know, hey, I want to go away and fly, you pat them on the back and go, listen, if you ever need me in the future, I'm here.
Yeah,
and that's it. All right, and because those relationships, you just don't know what you've built, and I think you've had some. It's a really interesting take you've actually had. I know you rolled it into the burnout side with building a brand and managing these people, because you've come from a totally different perspective. Rather than saying like, hey, these are the colors you want to use in a logo, it's like, hey, you've got to get the fundamentals done right before you can do this properly. Don't make the same mistakes I did, you know? And then now it's a case of like, also something I've already taken away from the show is that it's just like, just do what you fucking enjoy, man. Just get yourself to a financial position where you're not wondering if you can buy bread and milk, and then just start doing what the fuck you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, so now it's like, okay, you're not selling 150 homes plus a year, you're selling 40 or however many you're doing, 2022 or whatever it is. It's like, but you enjoy it. You get to do your surfing. You're having to make better time. And there's something we always say, like, I'm a big car nut. And people always, in this, especially in this, with these fucking fuel prices, look at the miles per gallon that truck gets. Well, my argument is, yeah, but how many smiles per mile do I get?
Yeah.
Right. And it's such a corny thing to say, but it's so true. I'm a big car. I ride motorbikes, and I'm like, listen, it might do 10 miles to the gallon, but holy fuck, do I love those 10 miles.
Yeah.
Mundane Toyota Prius, and you probably want to shoot yourself, or you just don't care, which is fine. But I love this shit. I love it. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in gaining access to our course and coaching programs, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.